And it can also be signified by the longer hand. Could you use it with one hand?
Yeah. Okay, you're recording?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. Red one-handed is a blue. It's just a single damage point.
Okay, Thomas is about to go over how hard these people can actually hit.
Use some blues two-handed. Like there's a guy who uses a 47-inch long blue at 12 ounces. So it's a really light, long sword. Okay. You have your hit tests. They're going to come up and they'll hit test your weapon. This is how you check to see if your weapons are good. The first one's light, something he wouldn't take. That's probably right on the edge of light. Medium, which is something you normally throw. That's your normal hit. And then hard is the... Which I don't think I threw that any different.
Yeah, I was about to say, that wasn't it.
Light, medium, hard.
Hey Thomas, can you show us hard again?
These, to be honest, with the way they're built, these Gorg weapons, which are signified by these 3 stars, probably won't find much of a difference in the medium and hard. That's the basic hit test. You don't want to take light, but as a thing, when we go to events, if we do that, the general thought of Albion, which is the area that we are in, is take light, hit hard. You throw good hits and you take anything that you might even think isn't light. But if someone hits you with some fucking pussy hair wisp, ignore them. Tell them it's light and just keep going on about your business.
So lights don't count as damage at all?
No. Just ignore it. And then there's butter knifing, which if I tried to stab you and I just kind of went off to the side, that's a butter knife. Don't worry about it.
Paddle.
Stabs like a glancing stab.
Okay, so
glancing cut.
Anything that's not direct.
And then flats. If someone flats you and you know it, just call flat. It doesn't count.
Okay.
Although in the rules it kind of should, because someone can two-hand you with a mace and a two-handed sword would still kind of fuck you up a little bit. But anyways, that's the basic rule set. As for is there anything else y'all would like me to show y'all real quick? I can show y'all the basic offensive and defensive stance change, just so you know it for shield and sword combat. Yeah. If that's important to anyone. Okay. You have your shield. Your basic idea with this shield. What you want to do is you create an A-frame. With your sword foot back is defensive. You're farther away, you're harder to hit, your shield is mainly put forward. Your A-frame, you build your A-frame by taking your shield and your sword like this. Your your triangle is made out of your sword, your shield, and your belt. By moving any part of this frame, you should be able to block or dodge any strike. The second part about that is come stand, here, let's stand like this. Your second thought is with this frame, your opponent has the same frame, which he should hold his shield higher because I could knock it down and his sword's out too far. But your general thought is to hold your frame solid, make sure they can't get into it, and throw a strike solidly and try and force their field. The other thing is when you're fighting against a shieldman, you're fighting in an eye, is where you will not get any advantage. Y'all will be stuck in the same fight. The way to get around that is to fight in a Y. Come around, get your shot through. That's how a shieldman is going to try and fight you. If you try and go around, and if they're stronger, they'll step around as you do, push you back into line, or they'll step around you at the same time to keep it in that straight line. And all I know past that is like the shots that you can throw, good ways to get around a guard. You have like butterfly shots, which are, they come around the opponent's shield. You have dark sides, which are around your shield. Wraps, which are behind the back. Which, if anyone wants to know the actual way to throw a wrap, the way to know how to throw it, is throw your sword out and check for that motion where your wrist naturally wants to bring that sword back around. When you find that point, that's where your wrap is. That is how you get that solid wrap in. Past that, it's just bringing the momentum of the sword around. So that's how you know you can throw a good one. It makes that nice little sound off the shield. You can throw wraps with reds. They're a lot harder. You have a lot more length. If you can throw them properly, sometimes it's possible to actually throw a wrap from very close with a red all the way around somebody. They are very difficult to do, and they're not really shots that you want to do too much. One trick though that I can show y'all with a red is shield wise. If he's advancing on me and he gets close, I can step in on him. Lakai's a little bit in the way, but if he tries to strike me, which is what most people with a blue sword will do with that aggression, you can come around, knock it down, and J-hook behind their back. Or you can J-hook them from the start, which you come in under their sword arm and J-hook their back. I don't know if y'all remember the J-hook as like a spear thing from back in the Ronin. It's just the and up under somebody.
Right.
So you just...
That's how I would.
But that's a way to get around a shield with a red. Red fighters should not aggress 1v1 on a shieldman unless they are very confident. With a red, your entire game is to play range. I can sit here and go for his legs all day. After I leg him, I can break his shield. After that, I have a very good advantage. Until that happens, as long as he has that shield, and for me especially, I'm slower, he can charge me, take that first hit on his shield, and kill me while my sword's locked up.
So reds are more like a support?
Yeah.
Okay.
All your non-sword, your non-single hand weapons really turn out to be support. I mean, spears can kill, but you got to think, you know, say I have a spear, all I'm doing is hitting his shield. Unless I can hit him, you know, throw something that he's not seeing, I can't kill him. But that long spear, you have someone come in on him with a sword on one side and a shield. Maybe from back here, he's not thinking about me because the swordsman's on him. I can get around and drive his hip, his side, something like that. Or maybe even just leg him. And then that makes him bait for the other guy. Alright, another thing that you will experience is arrows, javelins have to pass their own body length before they can do damage. If you are on somebody and a javelin is about as long as that red sword, if you are right on top of them, if they throw it, it doesn't do damage. They can stab you with it. Javelins can only do stabbing damage. Their damage type is yellow. That means they're a throwing weapon that can stab. It's basically like a thrown green. That's all it is. For armor, stabbing one-handed does not break armor. One-handed blue slashes break armor. Reds ignore armor. An actual red hit will ignore it. Metal or otherwise. There's really, if you think about it, other than aesthetics, there's no reason to wear metal armor Unless, of course, you were really frail. Then you might want to wear it. I don't know.
Joel.
But anyways,
Mike.
I'm not entirely certain that Joel could even wear it. Tire him out too quick.
He looked funny in it, man.
well, plate supports itself.
As long as you know how to wear it, I
Yeah.
suppose.
All it does is reduce the angle.
Fuck, past that, arrows, there's a thing called atomic arrows. You cannot block an arrow with a sword. If you attack an arrow with your sword, it counts as your death.
Dang.
If it hits your sword over here, though, and it is obviously outside of your body, do not take it. Say it hit your sword, but basically say it is out of range for me.
I missed.
I think it's stupid as fuck that you can't block them with a sword, because I was literally standing in a line battle at one point like this, and my sword, literally from neutral position, I didn't move it at all, blocked an arrow. But I had to take death on it. That's silly as fuck, but the reason they say this is back in those days, in the distances that most of these battles will happen, you wouldn't be able to block an arrow with a sword. Because you have to think these would be 100-pound bows. You know, shooting an arrow at anywhere upwards of 50 miles an hour. There wouldn't be a lot of time to react to it. So, dodge them. Put your shield in the way. If you don't have a shield, stay out of the way of them. A dag arrow is not going to kill you unless
Duck
you're
behind
not
someone that has
paying
a shield.
attention.
Don't
Yeah.
find somebody else.
Swordsman, two-handed swordsman, grab a shield buddy. Just sit behind them. Wait till you have a chance. Throw over them, break another guy's shield, make it easier for them.
Shield. Grabbing.
That's what the shield's for. It's made to protect somebody. It can protect two people. If they have to strike through that shield to get to the guy behind it, well, they really have to strike through it to get to you if you're behind that guy.
Can't get any clearer than that.
Nope.
Past that, your ideas for swords and all that, if you want to build dag weapons, what makes a weapon in dag is a blue has to be 24 ounces, cannot flex beyond, I think it's 70 degrees. This is checked by someone will kneel down, they will throw hits over your leg and see how far it bends. Yes, it is eyeballed. That is kind of gay, but it's how it is. There are easy things to build stuff out of. I believe that's a band shop pole. It's a fiberglass pole. It's basically been wrapped and they dapped up the blade and all that. That's an Athelin weapon. All my other weapons that I brought here today are gored. Like I said, the 3 stars. They're good quality. Athelin's good quality. But Athelin's like buying a little bit above stock for anything in real life. Borg is like buying a high class part. So when you invest, you get a lot better. I probably won't have to change these swords for 3 years. Unless I fight someone who's wearing metal armor. I hear when you fight someone wearing metal armor, your swords get fucked. They get chewed up on all the edges.
Oh dear.
So to be honest, because I don't make enough money right now, I'd probably avoid someone in metal armor. Past that, I really don't have anything else I know to tell y'all rule-wise, except for, and this is, if you want to do this, this is your own personal venture, Dag has what are called healing poems. 180 syllables. If you say it, if you have someone who has broken equipment, bows can be broken by a swing, your shields can get broken, all that good stuff. A healing poem will not only heal the person of any wounds, it cannot heal from death, but it will heal their equipment. They're not seen a lot, but the last time I saw one, it was gratuitously effective. It was a guy who had been through the army. He used the soldier's prayer. It's 183 syllables. Worked very good. He could say it in about 14 seconds. That's all I really know to tell you, other than if you want to do this, you need to get some kind of garb. It is garb appropriate. A lot of people will argue that it isn't, but it is.
Asian.
No, they want to argue with it because they don't like Asian. A lot of people get really bad rep on that. I don't know why. It's stupid. But everything he has other than the weights is completely garb appropriate. He has low profile shoes that are a dark color, obvious, somewhat historical